Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to mix things up a little bit. I'm going to give you my full, honest review of this 2016 Range Rover Sport diesel. My name is Jeremy, this is Region Automotive, and let's get to work. So first, I'm going to talk about the exterior of this thing. And I would say that is my favorite part about this whole car. I've always thought that this generation of Range Rover has looked really good. To let you guys in on a little secret, I actually used to work at the Range Rover dealership when these things were coming out back in 2014, 2015. And I've always liked the look of these Range Rover Sports and the full sizes of this generation. What I personally like about it so much, it kind of has that retro styling with like the curved kind of rounded features. Like it's not super sharp looking like a sports SUV like a Jeep or a BMW or something. Like it kind of has that more old school rounded styling, but just the way they blended that kind of old school rounded styling with like sport features like these this hood grille, the side vent grille. All of the Range Rover Sports have the black upper half, so you kind of have like the piano, the glossy piano black A pillars, B pillars, C pillars, D pillars, I guess, and then this black roof, and I think that looks so good. It complements, like, this is like a really nice kind of ruby red color, and I've seen like the white ones, the black ones, the blue ones, like whatever color, body color with the black accents has complemented it really well. So I think Range Rover did a really good job of like blending kind of that old school luxury, like smooth body line features with like the sport features that we talked about there. Like I think these things have always looked really good. That has always been my favorite part about these. And then even if we look at the side profile, the way they designed it, it's like the whole vehicle is kind of sweeping back. Like it looks very aerodynamic. It looks very sporty, like it's ready to take off and get to work. Same thing here with the back profile. Again, I don't think there's a bad angle on the exterior of this vehicle. So we're at the rear of the vehicle, and I have no complaints about how the door operates. It is power, so you just press a button there and it opens up. It does, like, it's nice and smooth. It doesn't sound clanky and unreliable like old 2000s power doors. In the rear here, plenty of cargo space. And yeah, there's not much else to say about the rear cargo here. And then same thing, you just have a button. Everything's smooth, seems to work well, seems to be robust. So once we get to the back door, one thing I noticed about this specific SUV is it has really big doors actually. So open the door and I noticed like how deep or how tall the door is, I guess, like how it seals way down there versus I'm used to SUVs that seal a little bit higher up. But that's part of the luxury experience, I guess. They're just big, quiet doors. They have soft close. Soft close work on this one. And then, yeah, you continue. The word I was looking for earlier was class, I guess, opulence. So you continue to get that in the interior. This is another thing that I've always liked about these Range Rovers. One was the exterior and interior looks. And I think Range Rover has done a great job just with the quality, the fit and finish of the vehicle. The door panels, like, you know, two-tone leather panel with like wood grain accent there. The buttons are nice and solid feeling. Has a name brand Meridian sound system there. And even the door panels, like you guys obviously won't be able to feel it, but like it's leather, and then they have like the foam underneath, so it's like soft touch. So it's like there's no plastic to feel on this whole interior, which I really, really like. And even the rear seats on this thing, again, they look very sporty. It has like nice black leather seats in good condition, the individual bolsters for the rear passengers, big center console that folds down. And then this is actually a good transition or segue into one of the things I was going to talk about on this vehicle. I actually bought this vehicle from a close family friend of mine. They've had it for quite a while, and that's a stack of work and receipts they've put into this thing. So that's a good indicator of these Range Rovers is, yes, they look good. We'll see in a minute that they drive good, but don't think for a second that Range Rovers aren't cheap to own. Like they've had this vehicle since 2017, is 2016, so it's a year old. We're in the year 2025 now, so what is that? 8 years, and there's like just thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of receipts there. So don't be fooled by the luxury and the good looks and the soft closed doors to think that this is a reliable vehicle, because it is not. Working our way to the front here, same story. When you open it, like, it's just very quiet and very isolated. And when you open it, you're just welcome with like just such a nice interior. I've always loved the interiors on these things. Like, steering wheel looks good. It has that soft touch leather I was talking about earlier all over the dash, two-tone, wood grain. Again, black kind of bolstered sporty seats that look really good. And then same thing here, console that's nice and smooth and comfortable to rest your arm on. Once we're inside of the vehicle, it has keyless entry. So I have the keys here, but you normally just have them in your pocket. Auto, lock, unlock, that kind of stuff. You push to start. Starts right up. Again, I have no complaints about this interior. These Range Roads are actually quite capable off-road. If you noticed earlier when we were looking at tires, it had the all-terrain tires. So the previous owner of this vehicle actually took it off-roading quite a bit, and it's quite capable. So you have low range, and you have the different modes there you select depending on what terrain condition you're in. So yeah, I'm just going through the terrains here. Grass, gravel, snow, mud, ruts, sand, and rock crawl. So I'm guessing that adjusts the suspension height, the braking, and the four-wheel drive locking gearbox, depending on which situation you're in. Put that back in auto. Another thing I like as well is the air suspension on this is much better than the previous generation. So you adjust it here, just press up, and then say if we want to go off-road height, it's very quick to respond, and it raises up the vehicle right away. As you can see, all I had to do was just like click, click, and it's been like 5 seconds and the vehicle's raised up. Also, when you move it back and forth, it kind of settles in the suspension. But I do have an older Range Rover, and the air suspension is not as smooth as this one. Dash is pretty standard. Don't really have any complaints here. Climate control, it's nice you actually have the manual knobs for 2016. I'm sure the newer ones do not. Use press there to adjust your seat, whether you want it cool or warm. Adjust temperature. All kind of has manual buttons, which is nice. And then the touchscreen, this is a little bit more old school 2016, because nowadays you'd have a full screen, but the touchscreen's actually not too bad as well. If you want to get into your different functions here, so parking sensors, your camera. It is a little bit laggy, but again, that's pretty expected for the year. So yeah, pretty straightforward. No complaints with the dash. Again, I think everything is held up pretty well for being almost 10 years old. Phone connects pretty good. Good connection, I guess, Bluetooth connection. Yeah, good sound quality. Easy to operate through the screen there. And then good sound quality, like one connecting through the Bluetooth and then two coming through the speakers. So why don't we get on the road and take this thing for a drive? I'm sure that's what most of you are looking for. I also forgot to mention this one's cool because it has a full panoramic moonroof there. Well, I guess it's half. So you have the back glass so you can see, or the rear passengers have the glass above head while driving, and then you have a normal sunroof that just operates there. And again, I would say I'm pretty happy with the quality of all the electronics in this thing. Like, it's a 2016, so it's like a whole generation cycle. Like, everything doesn't just feel like cheap and clanky, like it's gonna break like the previous 2010s or even 2000s generation. And then you have this sunshade there as well that is electric, so that's nice. So this thing has been sitting for a few days. I'm doing a cold start, so I figured I'd show you guys what it's like cold starting a luxury diesel. So this doesn't have glow plugs, which is nice, but it still kind of sputters when you start it up. Takes a minute to get going there. It's shaking a little bit, not too bad. And because the emission system is deleted on this one, you'll get a bit of smoke on cold start, but not too bad. And it kind of settles down, I don't know, within 5-10 seconds of idling, but I'll probably wait 30 seconds or a minute, just let it warm up before I take off here. But it's not like the old diesel trucks I'm used to where you gotta warm up the glow plugs and they clank and rattle and make a bunch of noise for the first like 3 minutes when you start them up. This one starts right up and it's pretty much ready to go right away. Okay, so this is a good chance we're going over some train tracks. Yeah, that, again, that's kind of the whole experience with this Range Rover, is that it's not, honestly, like, it's a Range Rover Sport. Like, it looks sporty, like I said earlier, but like, it doesn't feel like a sports SUV. Like, this thing drives so smooth. Like, as you may or may not have saw and heard going over the tracks, like, there's no suspension rattle, no, like, because again, it has air suspension, so it literally feels like you are floating essentially on a pillow of air. And it feels that way when you go over bumps. Like, there's no springs that compress hard, and like, you don't hear all the bits in the suspension. Like, it's just so smooth and so quiet. Yeah, again, I would, like, that's always kind of been British luxury cars. That's kind of been their motto, was like comfort and luxury, versus German cars have been kind of more luxury sport, which I personally like more. But like, when you do drive these vehicles, again, they're just so comfortable. Like, going over those bumps, there's a little bit of road noise, but I'm pretty sure that's due to the all-terrain tires. If you had like normal kind of highway tires on this thing, I bet you wouldn't hear a thing in it. But like, you know, there's like no wind noise. I just hear the echo of myself talking in the car right now. I'm going 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour. Yeah, just super quiet, refined, luxurious driving experience. One thing that I noticed right now, I'm not too sure if it's a mechanical fault with the vehicle or it's due to the fact that it's diesel, but like, I find when you're kind of at constant speed, the car kind of surges a little bit back and forth. Like, you won't be able to pick that up on camera. Let me know down below. I'm curious if anyone has this vehicle, if they've experienced that as well. Yeah, so takeaways, again, super comfortable car, super luxurious feeling. You don't hear a lot of road noise. You don't hear a lot of wind noise. Even when I drive this thing around the city, like, yeah, just, again, it just, I don't know. I want to keep this thing, but the reason why I'm not, and this would also be kind of my overall recommendation to you guys, is if you want the luxury, if you want, you know, what British luxury cars and Range Rovers are known for, like the opulence, the class, the style, the comfort, great. But just know you're going to pay for it. Because, like, for one, I was doing some research on the market of these things, and they still do call for quite a bit of money, these older Range Rovers. And as we saw earlier with my friend's stack of maintenance records there, like, these things are not cheap to run. So just have that in mind if you're looking for one of these. Like, if you want all the British luxury things, great, but know you're going to pay for it. Yeah, I guess I keep on saying it's just such a good experience, and like, I really do want to keep this vehicle for my personal driver, but I personally don't see the value in it. Like, I'm kind of more of a sport luxury guy, like I said myself. I'm kind of trying to grow my business and stuff, so just like, I don't really want to afford this right now. And then I'm a little worried about the long-term reliability of this thing. But again, once you're on the road here, like, it's just such a quiet, like, just, you're totally removed from the road driving experience. Let's put this thing in sport mode a little bit just so we can feel the shifting. So we're in 6. I believe this is a 7-speed. 7, 8. Okay, 8 speed. So go down. Shifts aren't too bad. Like, you don't feel them. They're not like dual clutch fast, but they're modern automatic fast. Say if I'm at 3,000 RPM, this thing red lines at 4. Let's put the pedal down. It's also not super fast. So yeah, we're gonna take off from a stop sign here. I'm gonna give it some juice. Okay, the pickup, like, from a stop is actually pretty quick. Yeah, so that would explain that. We'll go over these stats now. It has 254 horsepower, which is on the lower end. Another thing I was going to mention as well, this thing weighs, it's quite heavy, and you do feel that, especially around the corners. Again, it's not a sport SUV with the air suspension. It weighs about 4,900 pounds, so it's actually quite heavy for a midsize SUV. So when you go around the corners, you do feel it quite a bit. Like, it's not super planted, and you know, the steering's not super direct. It's all very, it's not like loose, but it's soft. It's all very soft. Like, the steering's not super direct. Like if you're in a BMW or something like that, you know, I turn the wheel and then it kind of moves. Same thing with the suspension. It's not, there's a fair amount of body roll, and like you kind of feel when you take corners that, like, usually I describe a sporty feeling vehicle. Like when you take a corner, the vehicle feels like it's like one object, like it's everything's solid, it's together. So you turn the wheel, right away you turn the wheel, and then your front end turns with the car. And then when you go into the corner, it feels like the front wheels and the rear wheels are kind of on two different pages, versus if you're driving a sporty vehicle, everything's solid. It's one solid uniform feeling as it takes corners. So again, luxury vehicle, not a sport vehicle, especially with the diesel. It's heavy. The horsepower is 254. So when you see that, it's like, say we're at the highway and I'm at it, like it accelerates quite slow actually when you're at higher end speed. But it has 440 foot-pounds of torque. So that's actually when we saw that, is when we're at a dig. I was quite surprised. I was not put back in my seat, but it moved this relatively big vehicle pretty quick. So we're gonna do one more thing for my review here, is the 0 to 60. I searched up on Google. I think the 0 to 60 on this thing is about 7.7 seconds. If I'm cruising again at top speed and I give it gas, I wouldn't believe that, but based off that acceleration on the highway, you have that 440 foot-pounds of torque, which gets you off the line. So let's go find a safe stretch of road and test the 0 to 60 on this thing. Google says 7.7 seconds, so I have the transmission in sport mode. And just so you know, this is kilometers. We're going 0 to 100 kilometers. You ready? Yeah, so it puts me back in my seat, and that's coming up on 100 right there. So it's probably about that 7.7 seconds. I won't be able to see until I put the timer in the video. It does put you back in your seat at the start. So yeah, that's where you feel that torque. But then once the vehicle kind of gets in the higher RPM and starts to get past that initial acceleration, it kind of dies down a little bit. So again, not a sports vehicle, luxury vehicle. All right guys, that's gonna wrap it up for my first car review video on this channel. Give me your feedback down below. If you liked the video, if you didn't like the video, what you think I should improve, what do you think I should keep doing? Let me know. I have lots of cool vehicles coming in and out of my shop, and I can definitely get out and do reviews on these things, so just let me know down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.